What is going on, guys? This is Versus All Gaming with my review of Tokyo Ravens episode 17. And honestly, I cannot believe what I just saw. That ending was crazy. And it was somewhat confusing, but I will get into that a little later on. So the episode starts off with that teacher, Etu. Not sure if I'm saying the name right or not, but he actually came there, and Natsume and Harutora, they were actually questioning him if he's a part of the Twin Horn Syndicate. And he said that he wasn't, but at least not now. So maybe it's possible that at some point he actually was part of them, but he did leave. But he was saying that even though he's not a part of them, he actually feels the same way that they do, because we all know that they're clinging to Yako, and of course he also wants to see that their dream come true, and to see if Natsume really is Yako. And we see that he pulls out some kind of like weapon. I want to say it is. I'm not really sure what it was, but he actually wanted Natsume to like fill it up with her power. But of course now he realized he was kind of freaking him out, and so he apologized to them and he left. But then we see Shaver. He came out of nowhere and just cut him down. I was just like, what the heck? I have no idea what that guy's problem was, but he just went crazy. And you just see that Etu, he losing a lot of blood, but when he reaches for that weapon, I'm guessing that he wanted Natsume to fill with power, we see that Shaver stabs his hand, and that right there causes a spirit disaster to happen. And we just see all these different kind of demons, appear. We saw one that was like an earthworm. We saw some kind of wind demon. We saw an armor one as well. And so Harutora, he was saying that this right here, it was a phase 3, so clearly that right there is definitely not a good sign. If we skip phases 1 and 2, then clearly phase 3, it definitely can't be good. And so Natsume summoned Hokuto, and they were actually trying to stop these demons, but it was clear that these guys were like a force to be reckoned with, because while Hokuto was like busy containing that armor demon, we saw Harutora and what's her name, Koyoko. I think that's her name. I kind of forgot because this character had been like on the download for a while now. But yeah, Koyoko. We actually saw her, and she had tried to also fight, but they were taking it so overwhelmed. And even when Natsume tried to make this protective barrier around them with like these fire pillars, they were easily destroyed. So clearly, these demons were definitely, too much for them. But then we have Shaver. He actually wanted to fight Natsume and Harutora. I thought that, if he went crazy, that he'll want to kill the demons because they'll be a much bigger threat. But he actually went after them. And even when they like running for their lives, the guy didn't give up. And Natsume even had to get Hokuto to stop him. But Shaver, this guy is definitely no joke. He's actually pretty powerful, because we see when Hokuto, bit him the first time, he actually kicked her with like so much force, it caused Hokuto to let him go. But now they went to the school, because they had all these teachers here that came to contain the spirit disaster. I thought everything was going to be fine, but Shaver here just didn't give up. And so then we see Toji and Temma. These two actually work pretty well together, and Suzuka also came. I definitely like how, what's the name, Temma, how he used that talisman, and it like spawned these like branches, leaves. Basically, he just used a wood style talisman, and that right there was awesome. And then we see that Toji, he's actually getting better with his ogre abilities, and not only that, we actually see that he's also able to now use Harutora's staff as well. And it kind of made like some energy. I'm guessing, like whatever creature that was, I'm guessing it'll be ogre as well. But it was pretty awesome. And even Suzuka, she also came there and helped out as well. But all of the attacks that they were doing, it really wasn't having that much of an effect on Shaver, because he was still, going after them. And even when like Hokuto had came in there, because Natsume, she didn't hold back at all. And when Hokuto came in there, Shaver actually did the unthinkable. Even though he lost an arm, he was able to impale Hokuto in the head. And that right there was definitely extreme, but at least now, he was weakened as his arm is gone. And he was saying that this sword here is like pretty special, and it has the name Razor. So that sword, it kind of plays like a major role here. But we see now that Natsume had to send Hokuto back. Shaver really wanted to fight it, but Natsume was definitely in no condition for that. So they tried to get out of here. And then for some reason, Koyoko, she was like really like paralyzed with like fear or something. I'm not really sure what had shook her up so much, but it was really crazy how she was acting so slow. But at least luckily they were all able to get out of there, because we see that like Shaver wasn't even interested in the other characters, and he just wanted Natsume. Well, yeah, he actually just wanted Natsume because he had wanted to fight that dragon, so he was ignoring everybody else. And while they were getting away, they got the others to like stall from them, and we see that there for the first line, it was like the talisman that exploded on impact, and Shaver just like walked through that with no problem. He didn't even cut him; he just walked right through it with no problem at all. And then we see then we see Toji and Suzuka. They actually tried to stop him, but of course they got defeated. Not really sure what happened to Tenma, because after we saw him in the cafeteria, I'm pretty sure he never really got involved like till later on. And so now Shaver can't be stopped, but Natsume and Harutora, they actually went into this library where the other students was, and Harutora, he actually got so much character progression here, because we saw how much he developed. We see that he actually made the barrier on the door, and he was going to get Natsume, to make it stronger. But before that could happen, Shaver was already cutting through it. He actually came in there pretty easily. But all this time, his like main goal was Natsume, and he was actually gonna kill Harutora to get through her, like to get to her. I mean, but luckily Kon had pushed him out the way. But we just see that his attack it unleashed like this airwave that just completely took out Natsume. Like her clothes were just ruined. And so now everybody knows, like, she actually got exposed here. And I was wondering, how that was going to happen, because I'm pretty sure that there was no way that Natsume was going to be, pretending to be a boy throughout the entire series. Like, that right there was just impossible. And so we see now everybody knows that she's really a girl, but Shaver is not stopping at all. He's still taunting her, and was even poking her so that she'll bring out Hokuto. And he was saying that if he cut out an arm or a leg, would she come out then? And you just see that Harutora, he still wouldn't give up, even though his staff got destroyed. He was still fighting, but he was not thinking clearly. And Toji had to like calm him down a bit. But we see that actually paid off, because Harutora was like thinking about what he should do, and we actually get this like quick flashback of what Reggie was like saying to him. And speaking of Reggie, like, where in the world was he? How was he not there controlling, his familiar? To me, that right there made no sense whatsoever. But at least now we see that the Harutora actually got his sync going on, because we see at one point it's like everything becomes kind of weird, like what's the term I can use, like infrared, something like that. And we just see that he kind of get like this out of body experience, and that right there was like something very interesting to see. But at least now he was so calm and collective that his talisman powers, they were actually on point. And we just see, even though they were on some low-key spells, they were actually proving to be pretty effective against Shaver. Because we see at one point, we see him, we see him, being so calm, and he was thinking about what he should do. And even when he had unleashed, cone power, that also worked as well. Sorry about that, guys. But I left off at Harutora using cone fire, like Firefox powers. And so that fire right there, even though it did do some damage, it wasn't enough. And Harutora notices that his sword Razor, it was his talisman. So if Harutora was able to destroy that, then there's no way that that the Shaver could still be around. And so now he came up with this plan, but it involved Natsume. And so once again, she had to deal with this crazy guy. But luckily, it all worked out, because once they were outside and Shaver was like so focused on Natsume, Harutora was actually able to do his plan. And we see that he used the exact same spell, and it worked this time, that Ultimo used against Doma. And it was just so awesome the way that like, to me, I don't know why, but I just love this spell so much that I could see why Harutora wanted to use it, because it was just so freaking epic. And so, of course, we all know that he calls those five gods, and the talisman react to it, and then we get that circle with the star on there, and that right there was actually able to take out Shaver till his true plan could go into effect. Because we saw at one point that this demon, it was actually coming up behind him, but Harutora didn't freak out because he actually wanted it to happen, and he summoned Kon, and he both got eaten. And so now he was saying that because this demon is a wood one, he could actually use it to his advantage, where he actually uses cone fire to set the entire thing ablaze, and then we get this awesome blue fire pillar. But he actually stores all this fire into his broken staff head. Now he was saying that out of all people, like he really didn't want to use the spell, but I'm not sure who he got it from. Maybe it was Doma, because that's the only character that I could think that he would not want to use, a spell from. But I don't recall Doma using that, or maybe he did, but I just forgot it. But that spell right there, it should transfer all of that fire into a staff head. And when he threw it, Saber got so excited and charged right into it and used a sword to hit it first. But we see while his body was being destroyed, he was actually thinking about Reggie. So I would imagine now that, he calmed down and not being a psycho anymore. So now that, Shaver is gone, everybody was surprised that, like, Harutora actually pulled this off. And of course, they were all shocked when he used that spell as well. But Harutora just got so much character development, but I felt like this right here, he definitely deserved it because he just did work. And so now Koyoko, she was thinking, now that she knows that Natsume is a girl, she realizes that the person that she made the promise with, it wasn't Natsume, but it was Harutora. And she was saying that, Natsume didn't forget the promise because she never knew in the first place, but it was Harutora that forgot. But really he didn't, because we all know that, when him and Koyoko first met, they were talking. He actually had this flashback of a girl made a promise with him. So Harutora definitely knows about this promise. And even though Koyoko goes up to Natsume, saying that, or, smiling at her, she actually calls her a liar. But I feel like that liar right there, it wasn't for Natsume, but it was more for Harutora, because he is the one that, forgot the promise. So I'd imagine that she's upset with him. But then we go to what's his name? What's his name? Daisen, that's right, Daisen, the director here. He was like walking with like one of the generals, and he actually got this call from Mia, but he didn't answer. But when they go to their director, who is also a part of Mio family, we actually see something pretty shocking, because while they were talking, we actually have what's that girl name? Takiko. She actually came in there, and we learned that leader, who what's the name? Oh, Shishido Dairenji. We know that his original family name was actually Soma, so him and Takiko are related, which could also mean that Takiko and Suzuka, they're also related as well. So I would imagine that this family bond here is definitely going to play a major role. But now that she's been exposed to working with the Twin Horse Syndicate, and we see that she was so close to the director, now we're having all the stuff come to the light, and now I'm guessing, because this ending, it was somewhat confusing for me, but I do believe that I'm right about this. I think that the director is actually the leader of the Twin Horse Syndicate, so he kind of had like this double agent thing going on. Even though he was opposing them, he is definitely very involved. Like, it's kind of like the Twin Horse Syndicate. It actually managed to sneak its way into this place. And so now after they stopped talking, because Daisen here, he was actually saying that he never ignored a woman before, and he never planned to, because we see Mio actually calling him, and he never got his phone. He never answered his phone. So that right there goes to show you that Mio possibly knew something was going to happen, and she wanted to warn him. But then we see, after a skip, we see that Daisen's fan is on the ground, and we see that's kind of burnt up. So now I'm thinking that because the director here and everybody was exposed, it's possible that they actually killed off Daisen. And now Takiko, she was saying that, you know, it's probably about time that they go meet Natsume and give her the Raven Code so that way she can awaken as Yako. And so now, the director here, he was actually saying that she's probably right. So I'm definitely thinking that this guy definitely has to be the leader of the Twin Horse Syndicate. And it is messed up. I am hoping that like Daisen isn't dead. I would much rather prefer if they had like a fight and he lost, but not kill him off like that. Because that right there is like really messed up. But it really surprised me to think that, you know, he could possibly be evil, because this guy should be good. I mean, he is Koyoko's father and Miyo's son, so you wouldn't think that he's evil, but it's possible. But like I said, that ending right there, even though it confused me a little bit, it definitely shocked me. But overall, this episode, it was amazing. I definitely loved it. Shaver is one crazy bastard, but he's gone. And Harutora just got so much character development. I loved it. As always, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe, because that really helps me out. But as always, you guys take it easy. I will see you all next time.